By Chris and Lumen. It's 4 a.m. I was about to go to sleep, and she wanted me to shoot a quick video. She wanted me to tell you something. It's kind of interesting. It's weird because today is now September 1st, which means Pluto is going into Cancer, which means it's about to kick off those last dominoes. And as I was watching the playback of the video I posted earlier, I had a I just picked a movie to play in the background. Didn't give it much thought, just saw one, clicked on it. But a lot of times, like, she's subconsciously choosing these movies. And it didn't like really click for me until like the very end that I was watching The Perfect Storm. And then I got to thinking, it's like, why did I choose this movie? Or did I even choose it at all? Because she'll do that. She'll make me randomly pick movies. It's kind of like a message. So it's like, huh. But, something popped into my head at the end of it. It's more of a positive message. And it has to do with like a subtext of my story that I'm on here sharing all the time. She said, this is the part of my story that you should pay attention to that most people probably aren't picking up on. So it's a pretty good message. So if you want to know more, don't go away.
Light it up, now I'm burning. Feel the rush of adrenaline. We are young, we are strong, we will rise. 'Cause I'm back, back from the dead tonight. To the floor, hit the red line. Flying high at the speed of light. For my love, for my life, for the fight. 'Cause I'm back from the dead tonight. Back from the dead tonight. Dead tonight. Back from the dead tonight. Dead tonight. Back from the dead tonight.
So this will be pretty quick, but consider this when I talk about the hero's journey and Lumen and all that stuff. One, I didn't even know about the hero's journey or any of that stuff till I was a couple of years into it. I started to pick up on it. I didn't meet Lumen and Sophia until 2020. So I've only had them for 4.5 years. Yeah, closer to four, because it was like beginning of summer. 4 years and change I've had them. But what she wanted me to relay to you is when I'm telling my stories, don't focus on like what I have right now and what you may not have right now. She's like, focus on this. Now, in the early parts of my hero's journey, like, I thought the devil, the archons, and everything evil in the universe was out to get me. It sure as hell felt like that. That was her on a higher level, making things happen. Like, those things don't realize that they're pawns too. Let me go back even further. Like, once I had her for a couple years, I was able to look back in time. She was able to show things to me, all the way back to childhood, even as far back. Like, I think that my first instance without knowing what it was, of her, you know, being in my mind, being in my life, would have to be sixth grade. It's the earliest that I can think of. And here, there, every so often, of course, I didn't know what it was. Didn't know what it was. She was the one that guided me to meet my last wife. Like, I remember that day very clearly. I was supposed to, I was demoing things for selling stuff, and I was ready to go home. And my boss was like, you know what? I got this one more lead for it. Can you just run this last lead? And I didn't want to. But I took the card and looked at it, and something told me I needed to go to this one, which was her. And that's where I met my wife. I had 2 kids, all that stuff, about 16 years. Probably, probably the best, most comfortable part of my life. But then when the spiritual awakening started, she led me here, she led me there, she led me to this person, she led me to that person. All the time I didn't know about her. I didn't know it was her. Even the rougher stuff, which was to teach me things and to inspire me to overcome things. And she puts you through the crucible so that you find your power. During all that time, like worst time of my life, even though I couldn't discern it, looking back, she was there the whole time. And then she led me to this, she led me to that. Do this, do this, do this, do this. I don't know what's telling me to do this, until eventually, boom, there she is. There she is. And then I've been talking about it ever since, because I was still kind of making stuff even back then. She was actually the one that put the idea in my head to start making these energy oils. Because up to this point, like, you just had like witchcraft oils, like spells and herbs and stuff, not crystals, not crystals and divine energy. Everything I've done, she led me to. Every time that I was by myself, every time I was going through something difficult, even though I didn't know it at the time, I know it now, she was there. And what is she? She is God's love for you. She's your strength. So I don't know if the perfect storm thing is connected, probably, given on like we're waiting for this balloon to pop. But what she wanted me to tell you to see in my story, and how I've been now there's only so many videos on the channel. A lot of them are private, so you can't go like all the way back to the beginning. But I've been talking about for 4 years. But here's the main points. Don't look at it as something that I got or got lucky or whatever. Focus on the previous years. Previous years when stuff was bad, and in that time I didn't know she was there. So what you're actually getting to hear is somebody that found it, integrated it, and is able to tell people about it. Stuff that is in the ancient books that Christ taught about and everything else. Like, I know what it means. I can tell you what it means. Somebody is here that's actually seen it, that actually knows it, that actually is recombined with it, that passes along its messages and its teachings. Like, I can affirm that it's all real. That it's that, like, I wouldn't be doing this stuff if it wasn't. So even if you're not at that point, she's still there, just like she was for me earlier. Earlier, go back a couple years, go back further in life. I had no idea, but I know now. She was there. She was always there. He was always there the whole time. And that's why you're here. I mean, you're a small handful of people on the internet that found this channel because she wanted you to. I mean, we still got to try and work as hard as we can in the time that we're here. But what she's saying now that she wanted you to know is look at my story that way and then apply that to yourself. Through the worst times of my life, when I'm literally fighting monsters, she was there. Anytime something really good happened, she made it happen. What the subtext here is like, she's there with you too. Maybe you can't hear, maybe you can't see, maybe you're halfway there, or whatever. You're just not like dealing with it every day like I am, but she's there. And I've been at this long enough that I can actually tell you like what she is, what he is. Pretty much nobody that follows this channel is like a regular church person. But it's those characters. And they're so much different than like what religion tells you. So much more better than what religion tells you. But the point is like that is God's love for you. In all those years that I didn't before I knew, she was still there. So what does that mean? She's there too, with you. Always has been. That's why you're there. Talk to her, she can hear you. And maybe that's what I've never been really good at explaining, or I haven't done a good enough job. But for whatever reason, she wants to make sure that I tell you this now and to look at it that way so that you know. And it's not just, you go to church and it's like, well, it says here in our book that God loves you, and because it says in the book, and we got the book and we approve the book. What I'm saying doesn't come from a book. I'm saying I've got them with me all the time, and they're real. And I know how she's connected to everybody else. So like maybe it's because like things are going to get hairy, perfect storm hairy, or whatever. But before they do, she wanted to make sure that I told you and that you understood to look at it that way. It's like no matter where you are right now, or how much effort you've put into stuff so far, she's still there with you, guiding you all the time. And just know that and trust that. And that she led you to me, not so I could to share the things she wants me to share. But the real reason is because now you've got somebody that's been living with it and talking about it for 4 years that can say, hey, guess what? I can confirm this is real. It's actual real thing. It's not make-believe. And that thing wanted me to tell you that whether you can notice it, feel it, see it, or whatever, wherever you are right now, it's there with you. That's all she wanted me to share. Make sure that you knew that. Okay. Well, it's late. I need to get to bed. So Chris and Lumen, see you next time.